Sunday, March 8, 1992.
God bless you all. Bye-bye.
As Clinton takes his nearly non-stop campaign to Southern voters, Whitewater makes its national debut on page 1 of the New York Times. Introduced to the country as an ethically suspect sweetheart deal for the Clintons. Potentially large profits for minimal risk, possible conflicts of interest. Looking for votes in Texas, the governor responds immediately.
I know we lost over $25,000 on this deal. Never made a penny on it.
That would become the Clintons' bottom line. Because they lost money, the deal was clean. And to prove it, the governor's friend, Denver lawyer James Lyons, would hire an outside accounting firm to examine the records and issue a public review. In late March, that report, the Lyons report, put the Clintons' Whitewater losses not at $25,000, but nearly 3 times that amount, $68,900. But an extensive review of the Lyons report by ABC News reveals significant discrepancies. For example, the President and Mrs. Clinton say that on the 2nd of February, 1982, you'll recall he was no longer governor then, but was running again, they put $20,744 of their own money into Whitewater, a cash contribution counted in the Lyons report as a part of their losses, and backed up, they say, with a canceled check. But take a look at that check obtained by ABC News. The date matches, and so does the amount, $20,744.65. But it's written not to Whitewater, but to McDougal's Bank in Kingston as repayment of a loan. And McDougal says that's exactly what it was.
That had no connection whatsoever to the corporation.
It was, he says, the repayment of a loan he had approved for Mr. Clinton in 1981 after his unsuccessful 1980 campaign. Nothing at all to do with Whitewater.
He borrowed that Bank of Kingston as a campaign loan. It was his personal loan.
I believe it was in May of '81.
That's correct. And Kingston banker Gary Bunch recalls making the loan, though he didn't know what the money was for.
Oh, I remember it was just a personal loan.
If he's right, and McDougal is right, then this $20,744.65 cannot be counted as part of the Clintons' Whitewater losses, as they claim.
When all is said and done, that is the question which has caused the Clintons so much trouble. If they are as blameless as they declare, they've not made it easy for the country to accept their declarations at face value. And here's an example why. When their friend and White House counsel Vincent Foster committed suicide last summer, other White House staff working for the President and the First Lady went into Foster's office and took away a box full of documents, including the Whitewater file. The public didn't learn about this for several months. It is this kind of thing which finally forced the President to accept a special counsel, Robert Fisk.
I would certainly expect that before this investigation is over, that I would question both the President and the First Lady, and it would be under oath.
Mr. Fisk now has the authority to investigate the Whitewater affair from start to finish. We'll be right back.